Hey, hold on. Hold. Bag up, Terry. Put in reverse, Terry. Put in reverse. Oh, Lord, jeez. What you doing, Terry?
Hey, Sooner football fans. This is your Sooner football fans podcast. You got Terry and Rob here. Boomer Rob.
Boomer Terry.
And we are coming at you from the beautiful Podcast Palace in Norman, Oklahoma.
Where we are not affiliated with the University of Oklahoma.
But we do have eligibility left. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in to the podcast today.
Both of you.
How you doing, Rob?
I'm doing good.
We want to announce that Rob and I played in our first nighttime golf tournament.
That's right.
This past Friday night. And, well, we didn't win. Were we expecting to win?
May have won best looking couple.
Oh, well, probably. Ooh, I don't like the way they best looking team, not best looking couple. That made me nervous.
Why you got to make it that way, Terry?
Why you got to say it that way, Rob? But yes, we played under the lights at JR's. What is it? JR's Bar and Grill and Golf Course.
Right.
Have a beautiful little 9-hole pitch and putt golf course out there that has lights, and so we teed off at 9 o'clock and got done at about 11:30.
One thing I definitely found out, Terry, it is so much cooler playing at 11 p.m. than at 11 a.m.
Yes, it is.
Just saying.
Yes, and we even walked it. So
walked the entire thing.
Walked the entire thing. Okay, let's not act like it was 14 miles.
Well, yeah,
off.
but we had to look for all of our golf balls. So there's that.
True, yeah. We had to wander around.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, our first tournament of the year, so, we were rather proud. But hope everybody listened to the last podcast, if you haven't had a chance to hear Mr. Creed Tribby. 6'1.5" to 6'2", 195-pound, 13-year-old left offensive tackle who is my nephew and went to the Sooner. Well, I guess it's actually
Lincoln
Riley's football camp.
Right.
This past week, the mid-high football camp, and he was pretty pumped, pretty excited, had a good time.
He did not reveal any secrets, Terry.
No, he did not.
He didn't tell us the offense we're going to run this year, the defense we're going to run this year, any of that stuff.
Nothing, but did reveal that he got yelled at a lot. And he didn't even do anything wrong. So, but if you haven't listened to it, go back and listen to it. We got a good podcast coming up tonight. We're going to play. Well, first off, we're going to have
the Sooner Club of Baltimore.
Sooner Club of Baltimore, a.k.a. The University of Oklahoma Part 2 or Pro Series. How would we put that? Ravens have 62, Oklahoma Sooners on it. But Brandon BLOOMBERG, who is the president of the OU Club of Baltimore, is going to be on with us. Talk about the club, talk about being a Sooner fan in Baltimore, and what they do. So that'll be coming up. But first, we really didn't get to talk about it last week, Rob. But Champ U Barbecue, as everybody knows, Rob and I, again, did not receive our invite from Lincoln or any of the coaches.
I'm sure it just got lost here.
Yeah.
Sure it did.
But, what is it? Maybe Champ U Barbecue and Car Show, apparently. So, if I know everybody's probably already seen them, the cars that floated around or that were in the stadium for that. But had a lot of big-time recruits come to this thing. Looking on the OU Insider board on Sooners 24/7 Sports, which is, we're on the Insider board. And you can too. You can go join that, but that's where we get a lot of our information. Joey Helmer, kind of talked about it. People, the players and family that were there were highly impressed. But you know what gets me is it was not because of all the fancy cars and the gigantic thick steaks with Champion barbecue etched into the bones, is because they felt like they were home.
Wow.
That's important.
I think that what Lincoln Riley has got going on down there just breeds that kind of relationship, that kind of comfort. I mean, if you can play football, that is.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't get our invite,
Yeah.
but
I mean, they all said it felt like family. The environment was there. I mean, we talked about who all was there. I mean, when you get Sam Bradford to come out of whatever damn cave he's been in the last 10 years, 5 years, however long he's been out of the NFL, all the players, Kyler Murray was there, a bunch of other players, and they said it just felt like family. It felt like home, which is huge. Maybe it's not as much for the kids as it is for the parents. You know what I mean?
Yeah, oh yeah.
You want your kid to go where you're comfortable with going.
Well, which recruit was it that said, I don't even need to go anywhere else?
Yeah,
I'm home.
Yeah.
So I think that's what they were going for.
Yeah.
But there's still a lot of guys out there that have not committed that we're kind of hoping will pull the trigger this next month, right?
Yeah. But I think it may have been Sawchuk that said that. I'm sitting here looking at a quote. It was a weight lifted off my shoulders, finally being able to know where I'm going and make that decision be all it was. Great. Coach Murray was really excited.
And just for the record, Sawchuk is the number 2 running back in the nation. And what is he overall?
I think 9, if I remember right, or 11, something like that.
9 or 11, something like that. But if you haven't gone out and seen his huddle highlights, you should do that because the kid's impressive.
Well, and then, they OU Insider Board, has all these tweets from the guy, Malachi Nelson, another quarterback, standing in front of a Rolls Royce. Kenye Jackson, Jacob Sexton, a big offensive lineman. Luke Haas hanging out with Sam Bradford, and in the background is Adrian Peterson.
So how many recruits did we sign on that day, Terry?
No, we didn't sign any on that day.
I mean, how many commits did we get, verbals?
I think just the one.
Just the one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's a little disappointing.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's still early. Looks like a big tight end, Jason Llewellyn, standing in front of...
How big is he?
I don't know. He's big, though. Another Demetrius Pancake Hunter was there.
That's a great nickname.
That's a
right
great
there.
nickname. And he looks like he could put away some pancakes as well as pancake you.
I'm thinking Terry Waffles Long. No?
Waffles.
Not the same thing, huh?
Yeah, it's not the same thing.
Oh, okay, pancakes and waffles, just two different.
And Kyler Murray still, I don't believe, has ever smiled in any photo I've ever seen him in. He's in a couple of pictures. And then there's this big boy, Cole Hudson. He's got a bunch of pictures in here. And I'm just going to say this. He's the greatest, the best offensive line coach in the country, Coach Beatonbow. Coach B, he takes the world's worst pictures.
Well,
you've seen the one. You've seen the one in.
Actually, I have not seen any pictures that Beatonbow was in lately.
Well, you've seen the one that they still have up for him on the website and in the
yeah, it looks like somebody stuck him with a pen right up there. Took the picture.
Yeah. He's in a picture with this young man, Cole Hudson, and it looks like somebody goosed him at the time of the picture. Some more with Sam Bradford, and there's a lot of former Sooners in that one. But man, it just the list, and my understanding of it, it was all these were 4 and 5 star. There were no, if you didn't have at least 4 stars, you didn't even get an invite. Ooh, so
that may be, Terry, why you and I did not merit an invitation.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about
I'm
that.
half a star, and
and there's old boy. Demo's going to have to talk to him because DeAndre Moore Jr. is on Twitter is Demo, so may have to have a. I'm sure Demo will surrender it. But man, just sitting here looking at all these players, you know, Malachi Nelson. And what do you think about that Malachi Nelson and what's his name that Oklahoma isn't in at all, or on oh doggone it, his dad played quarter. It's the brothers.
Selman brothers?
No, quarterbacks in the NFL. Come on, Lisa, I know you're yelling at us and probably everybody else. They both won Super Bowls.
Oh, Peyton and
yeah.
Eli Manning.
Yeah, the Manning boy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, he was here?
No, he wasn't here.
Oh, okay.
But people have made stuff of that, you know, he hasn't come, or, you know, why isn't Oklahoma interested, or da-da-da-da. I don't think he's shown interest in Oklahoma, for one, and people are like, well, why not? Well, I don't know, but for the love of God, look at what we got.
Well, he probably wants to go to his dad and his granddad's alma mater, right?
Yeah, well, he went down to Texas. He did a visit to Texas. Okay. I don't know that Oklahoma hasn't invited him, you know, or maybe they've said, you know, no, we're not interested, but they sit there and look at, you know, I mean, we've got the top 3 quarterbacks in the last couple of recruiting season, and probably going to get the next, you know, one of the. Maybe he don't want to come to Oklahoma. Has anybody thought about that? He don't want to come here because,
well, I don't want to go back up Caleb Williams for 3 years.
So that's a possibility, folks. It may be the fact that he wants to go, you know, where he's, you know, automatic limelight. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oklahoma, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, probably not.
You know, probably not.
Because we're going to probably have a Heisman contender for the next, what? I mean,
3 years, 4 years, yeah.
Probably next year. I mean, that's putting a lot of pressure on Caleb Williams to say next year he's going to be a Heisman contender. But
who knows?
I mean, if he is, I think that
hey,
we're kind of expecting that, aren't we?
Yeah, that's, you know, not a bad thing. But again, I don't want to talk about Heisman's, Rob. Do you know why?
Because Natty's not Heisman's.
Right, Natty's not Heisman's. Tired of Heisman trophies.
I never get tired of them, but I would agree that I would rather have the Natty.
Right. Well, I mean, we've had enough for a while.
Oh, no, we haven't.
Yeah, we haven't.
I'm pretty sure we should win that every year.
Okay, but.
And the Natty probably every year.
But it's been, 22 years now? 20 years? 21 years since we've had a national championship, and, you know what, we've had 7 or 6 Heisman Trophy winners in that span of time. It's just time. It's time to win the Natty.
Oh, yeah. I agree. Don't get me wrong. But I think we should win the Natty and the Heisman. Both. And the Butkus and the... just go down the list. We ought to win them all. Yeah. I'm just saying.
Outland Trophy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yep. Just pick a Sooner, put him in there. But... no, it's interesting, you know, this recruiting class, and I've thought about that, and we'll talk about it more on upcoming podcasts. We may get some recruiting folks in here and talk to them about the. Are they still in a playoff?
Yeah,
I thought one of them just won it. Sorry, we got Golf Channel on, and we're watching Harris English and Kramer Hickok. Be careful how you say that name.
6th playoff hole, they both drove it into the sand.
Yeah. So they're both trying to give it away, but we're watching the Travelers Invitational on the Golf Channel. So I thought the thing was over. They were showing people hug each other, but nope. But we'll get some recruiting guys on here maybe in the next couple of podcasts, and you know, see what the scoop is on why you know, old boy's not interested in Oklahoma, or Oklahoma's not interested in a Manning.
Well, I think you probably said it, Terry. He didn't want to come in here where we already got, you know, 3 of the top, you know, quarterbacks ever to play high school football.
Yeah.
And be a backup. So can't blame him there. So,
well, you ready, Rob, to get Brandon on here and talk a little bit more Sooner football?
I am.
All right. All right, Sooner fans, all the way from Baltimore, Maryland, right, Rob? It's Baltimore, Maryland, isn't that where?
Baltimore is in Maryland, yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure I'm not good at is that geography or geology?
There's probably a Baltimore somewhere else, but the one
anyway,
we're talking about.
all the way from Baltimore, Maryland, home of the University of Oklahoma professional team, the Baltimore Ravens. We have Brandon Bloomberg on the podcast. Boomer, Brandon.
Sooner, Terry and Rob.
How's it going?
It's good. How are you guys doing this evening?
Doing fantastic. So, although I am a Steelers fan and I hate the Baltimore Ravens, what the heck? Number one is why is Baltimore signing every other Sooner that comes into the draft? What's going on up there?
Well, I mean, really, do we have to really ask that question? I mean, just the best players in the country.
Well, true. Hey, I already like this guy already. He just summed it up really quick.
And, since you're a Steelers fan, I do have some trivia for you.
Okay.
Do you know, since, Ravens had a team since 96, they have drafted more Sooners than any other team in the NFL?
Oh, yeah.
At 11. Do you know how many Steelers have drafted?
Zero.
96. Since 96.
Zero, probably.
Four?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They drafted what's his name this year? Just went blank. And sooner or later,
Trey Norwood.
Yeah, Trey Norwood. But
who is their only Sooner on their team this year?
Yeah.
And we have 4. So I'm just saying, and there's, but I'm kind of shooting some facts at you. You may want to, switch colors there.
No, that'll never happen. I was born and raised a Sooner and born and raised a Steeler, so it will never change. Well, first, correct me. Are you the president of the OU, or is there a president of the OU Club of Baltimore?
Yes, sir. I am the president of the club.
And you guys are fairly new, right, up there?
Yeah, I actually just started up the club last year. During COVID, of course. Back last June, we got things kicked off. There were some people here already who were kind of getting together, but no official club associated with the university.
Okay.
So, I talked with Andrew Wirtz, who's been fantastic, at the alumni office there, helping us out with the clubs and societies, giving me some pointers. Also, and Trevi, who was on your podcast a couple of weeks ago, great help for her. I can't ask, enough from her. Manny in Chicago, Mark, and who runs it seems like 7 clubs in the Ohio area. I think it's 4. They've all been great help, and and there's so many that I could, name that it would just take up the entire podcast. So but everyone's been fantastic help. We get on. Andrew puts on at times Zoom calls where we all kind of get together and just kind of chat, see what everybody's doing. Tips and tricks, what people are doing that can help each other out. So it's been good. It's been hard during COVID, of course, but it's been good though. It's been a lot of support.
Now, what was impressive, though, is when you had your first year birthday anniversary or whatever, how did you get all the shout-outs from, all the, Chris Plank, Castiglione, didn't he do a shout-out? You had a ton of people doing shout-outs on Twitter to you. How did that happen?
I just asked. Honestly, that's all it was. I went on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I just asked.
That's cool.
And they, thankfully, and I'm grateful for them to all those who came out and gave a shout out. So it's been fantastic.
Who all did? I mean, I know I saw a bunch of them. Didn't Castiglione do one? Didn't Castiglione do one?
Top of my head, of course, Joe Castiglione, Mark Plank, and the 1400 Sports Talk morning show. Mark Clayton gave us a great shout out as well too. Rothneck Little Sisters gave us a shout out. I'm trying to think everybody.
There was a bunch of them. Facebook I mean, it was.
But former Sooner legends, and current coaches, and I know the men's gymnastics teams gave us a shout out. The lacrosse program gave us a shout out. It was really, really cool. I really appreciate it. I mean, they didn't have to do it. But it meant a lot to me, and to our club members as well, that, hey, we're out here, we're supporting you guys. We're not in the backyard. You got a large following out here.
Yeah.
I mean, because the area between New York and D.C. is the most populous part of the country. And it's not the most populous state, but that geography area is, so populated that we're trying to build that OU brand out here in the Mid-Atlantic area for the OU Club of Baltimore.
Now, here's a geographical question again. See, I'm I'm trying to educate people today. What is it called up in that area? So I can't remember what it's called. They call it because you can't tell when you get into another town. It's like a megaplex or megapolis or something like that. Is there, or did somebody tell me that while I was drinking and they were like, ha ha ha, he believed it.
Yeah, there's really no specific term that I'm really aware of, but we got towns that kind of seem like they merge together.
Right.
There's no real split between towns, but yeah, it's kind of that way. Some of the towns around us, our club areas, is in you could say Timonium, Cockeysville, you could say Lutherville, Timonium. It's all merged into like one stretch of road.
There's a town up there called Cockeysville.
Oh yeah. We've got some fantastic town names out this way.
Yeah, I was going to say that sounds like a town that you'd probably get in a fight in if you go there because everybody's cocky, right, Rob?
Yeah, it's a pretty big town out here.
Yeah, but so are you a Ravens fan? Well, here let's get first off. Tell us about how were you born a Sooner, raised up in it? Where are you originally from? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, born and bred out here in Maryland. So I did not grow up a Sooners fan. College football wasn't big out here with my family. It's always been Ravens before the Ravens. Some people had the Redskins, and before that was Baltimore Colts. So it's always been an NFL town out here. We have a couple of local college football teams, but they're FCS. So it's just really not that popular out here. I got into it just because, I was looking for a master's degree with a field that I'm, in the current field I'm working in, and, University of Oklahoma fit that. And, started taking classes there, and from day one became a fan and, loyal fan since then.
Well, you do know what Maryland has done twice in a row, Rob, right?
They beat Texas.
Back-to-back years.
Back-to-back years. And so did Kansas, by the
way. Yeah. So, and here's the thing, again, being from out there, maybe you can answer it. What is the deal? Okay, it's the Maryland Terps, right? The Terrapins.
Yeah, Terrapins.
Yeah.
It's Turtle.
Yeah, it's Turtle. True. But what is the deal with their helmets now? I mean, where they have that, is that what is?
That's the Maryland state flag, isn't
it? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's very it is the state flag. They seem to go through a lot of helmets. I know people refer to them kind of like the Oregon of the East Coast. The different uniform combination helmets. But yeah, that's the state flag. But I guess if you want to know more information about that, you may want to ask Joe Castiglione because he's a Maryland alum.
Wow. We learned something. I did not know that.
I know. So we need to try to push the Sooners Maryland, football or softball games or something.
Yeah. So, cool. I mean, do they have, this is just, banter from us. Do they have when we have Boomer Sooner, do they have
what's the Maryland chant?
Yeah, what's the Maryland chant?
Let's go Turtles.
Go Turtles. Cowabunga.
Honestly, before, OU, I was, just a Ravens fan, and I never got into Maryland sports because to me, I never went to the school, so I never really associated with the school because it was, I saw it as University of Maryland. And being DC, a lot of people, of course, they're University of Maryland, but they're more seen as like a DC area
Gotcha. Okay.
team because they're right outside the Beltway there.
Okay. Do me a favor. Do us a favor.
Yeah.
At some point in time when you don't have anything to do, find out what their chant is and just tweet it to us.
I'll do my best. I'll try my best. I didn't go to Maryland, so I can't.
Surely somebody around
answer, but I can't give you an answer.
Yeah. So you have a watch party, and I'm sitting here looking at your Facebook page, which everybody you can go and anybody can join your Facebook page, right, or follow it.
Yeah, anybody can join it. It's private just because we got a lot of solicitations who signed up, and it was just really kind of difficult to keep track of all that stuff. It's private, but anybody can join. Yes.
Okay. Now I'm looking at where you have your watch parties at, and Point and the Still. Is that the name of it?
It's for short. Yeah, it's the Still. It's right outside Baltimore. fantastic location where it is. It's between our Beltway 695, not far from 95 that goes, straight up. So, and 83, which is another corridor on the East Coast. So it's a really good location for people who are really not in Maryland. I mean, not in Baltimore, to be able to hop on the highway, and it's right there off the highway, not too far.
Oh, okay. Now, do you got it? How many people right now do you usually have at your watch parties? Or, well, I guess since you're a year old, you really don't know because y'all were shut down probably more than we were for COVID, weren't you?
Exactly. Yeah, Maryland was a little more restrictive of the state.
Okay.
It really kind of sucked, honestly, during the bowl game with Florida, because of being a late game. The COVID restriction was the bars couldn't be open after 10. So we pretty much could watch the first half and then had to go home and watch the rest of it.
Well, that was pretty much the game, wasn't it? After the first half, it was pretty much done. So,
yeah, but I mean, a couple other night games too were similar like that, which is like, oh man, really? As much as I love seeing the night games, it was hard out here because of COVID restrictions.
Yeah.
But hopefully now, everything's lifted pretty much. So we're really excited to see, our alum and fans, like Trevor said before. It's we're not just an alumni group. We're fans. Everyone who loves and wants to support the Sooners
now
are welcomed.
How far are you from South Jersey?
South Jersey. My wife actually grew up in South Jersey, so it's about 2-hour drive away. To me, there's two different jerseys, so she's in a good area.
That's what we've been told.
No. Will, our buddy Bill from South Jersey, we made, and Yvette is his wife. We made the mistake of going from Jersey, and he looked at us and said South Jersey. But when he looked at us, we were pretty sure we were fixing to get shot. Okay. So,
well, here's the thing. I'm not really scared of Bill.
I'm scared
Yvette.
of Yvette.
Yvette will cut it, brother. I'm telling you.
But they're huge fans. Again, they're not from Oklahoma.
Nope.
Bill, they're not from, and he became a fan back in the 80s because of Bosworth and all that stuff, and has been. He actually about 3 or 4 years ago made his first trip to Oklahoma to see a game, and came by our tailgate, and I think he now comes to one every year. But he's one you need to get there sometime. He's a good guy. He's
more than welcome to come down. Just send them our information.
Okay.
I would say probably most of our fans of our club are fans who did not go to OU, but are diehard fans, and I just love everybody at that. It's great.
So, do you think maybe part of that is though the reach that the Ravens have had with the Sooners, that a lot of the people like yourself maybe who had never really had a pro team or a college team went, man, we got all these guys from Oklahoma. Because right now, how many do you have on the roster now? It's a ton.
We have 4.
Yeah. Didn't you have more than that last year, I think?
Yeah, we did. I hate to see Orlando Brown.
Yeah, that's
go,
right.
But I understand business is business.
Yeah. Maybe do you think maybe that's part of the reason why you do have a big group of folks out there that are Sooners fans, because because it was Kelly Gregg who was the nose guard out there during the Super Bowl years, and I've had several Super Bowl years. I shouldn't say it that way, but and here's a kid that I remember watching that with the Ravens when they had the HBO. They were the first team on the HBO.
The Hard Knocks, yeah.
Hard Knocks. And when I remember seeing the one where they put Kelly Gregg on the practice squad. He didn't. He didn't play immediately. He worked his way from the practice squad to being an all-pro nose guard, and undersized, but he could wrestle a bear, which, I mean, I don't think he lost a wrestling match in Oklahoma, high school. But do you think maybe
that's the thing too? I mean,
that has something to do with
it. I mean, to even get, playing time on that defense in 2000, is remarkable. I mean, so it just shows you how good he was to be able to play along with, those players back then.
There's a great picture that's a couple of, he does some stuff with the radio stations. It's him with his helmet off chasing Big Ben. You know, that I guess it got tore off when he was coming through the line, and that guy is funny, but I also think he's a little bit redneck nuts.
Oh, well, yeah. He's a wrestler.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah. Have you ever got to hear him talk or hear any of his stuff from a radio show?
No, I haven't. I'm glad you mentioned it, though. I will definitely look into that and give it a listen.
Because he talks about, you know, wrestling with the wife, you know, and we're not talking about wrestling. He's talking about something else. You know, pig hunting. You know, I mean, he is hilarious on the radio stuff. He used to be a regular on one of the shows, and I don't think he has to work. And I think it was just getting up to, you know, it was too much of a commitment for him. So he said, y'all want me to do something, just, you know, holler at me, I'll do it, but I don't want to do something regularly. But so you're originally from up there. What year did you come down to Oklahoma?
So I guess you could say I'm very unique. I did my entire degree online.
Oh, okay.
Master's degree. So I didn't do undergrad. I did master's degree at OU.
Okay. So have you ever made it down to a game?
I have not. I'm dying to.
Okay.
I actually was able to get down. I graduated last year, but everything's postponed because of COVID. So they invited us all back last year's class to graduate, you know, in person this year, which was fantastic. So I did go out there and for graduation then, which was, you know, amazing.
Yeah. Okay.
But I would say really my first time I actually fell in love with Oklahoma was probably in 2016. I used to work for the post office, and we had training out in NCED there in Norman, and just going out there and just, you know, how great it was, you know.
Yeah.
Everybody is, you know, the landscape and how nice and courteous, you know, everyone is. And I just, you know, I loved it. And I think that's kind of what got the initial bug in my head that, you know, when I was looking for a master's program to look out towards OU.
Yeah. So now we have a conquest. So whenever you decide what game, whether it's this year, next year, you need to let us know, and we'll build up. You know, we already have a, you know, tailgate and all that stuff, but we will put together something for your first trip to a Sooner game.
Actually, you know, I definitely appreciate it, and I know we're going to try to go up to Morgantown next year. It was canceled this past year because of COVID, so we couldn't do that this year.
Yeah, and it didn't matter. You know, that game. It was
it does matter to me.
Yeah, it does matter.
Them, so
but it was
really
like
I
it
really
was
get
funny
to see them if I can, you know, without having to fly anywhere.
Yeah, you'd have thought the Oklahoma fans would have went nuts because you know they weren't going to because you're going to miss a game. Normally, I probably would have, but that game literally meant nothing. You know, both teams were just taking a chance of getting hurt or catching COVID or whatever, because whether Oklahoma won or lost, they were going to the Big 12 championship game. All it did was with them was mess with, you know, the chance to play in a bigger bowl. So it was like, which is weird being here in Oklahoma and the rabidness of our fan base. You know, when they said, "Hey, it's canceled," everybody was like, okay. You know, normally it'd be like, you know, they announced 11 o'clock kickoffs, you know, for the Nebraska game, and people were about ready to go to Fox Sports headquarters and burn it down for having that game at 11 o'clock.
Okay, so I have some questions about that game.
Okay.
You know, still kind of a newbie.
Yep.
Maybe you can help me on this. I understand, you know, the importance of the game, you know, and how great it was for college football.
Right.
But why are we really celebrating a game we lost?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
I was thinking about that. I was like, we're not going to celebrate the Rose Bowl when we lost to Georgia there.
Yeah.
And some other games, it's like, it just didn't make sense to me. If we won it, absolutely.
Well, honestly, I think it's because, well, for one, it was, I think, really the first iconic game that was on television that went the way it did. You know, I mean, it was if you've ever watched that game, I mean, I was alive, but I was, you know, too little to remember it. But it was such a, a fist fight. Right, Rob? It was just it was
one of a game for all time kind of a situation. I'm with you though. I don't want to celebrate. We don't talk about losses on this show, by the way. But yeah.
I mean, but I think it was because both teams. It was the first. I think really the first college game that was deemed this was the greatest game that was ever played. Right? We lost it, which. Which is the same with the Rose Bowl. They say that's the greatest Rose Bowl game ever played, and we lost it. But anyway, but I think it's more, it's the year of that game. But I think for Sooner fans and Nebraska fans together, it's just the point of playing each other again.
Okay.
Because growing up a Sooner fan, Oklahoma, Nebraska was in the same conference forever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the 70s and 80s and part of the 90s, it was Oklahoma, Nebraska. That was the Big Eight. That was, and the fan, where it's Oklahoma and Texas, the fan base hates each other. Oklahoma and Nebraska, it's kind of a love fest, right, Rob?
Well, kind of. Their fans are not jerks like the Texas
people.
Or the Oklahoma State people, for that matter.
But, I mean, it's a healthy respect for the fan base and for the program. I mean, I've been to a couple of Nebraska games and sat next to Nebraska fans, and it was when the game was done, they were, we all rooted for our teams and everything. The two I went to, here in town, we lost one. It was in the Gary Gibbs era, and lost it pretty handily. But the guys next to me was like, "Hey, you're Oklahoma football. You'll be back. Keep y'all's chins up." And da 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 da.
Well, yeah. And when I was walking out of the game in 2000, or I guess it was 99.
Yeah.
The Nebraska fans were like, "Hey, we're glad Oklahoma's back. Congratulations, great game." And that's a typical Nebraska fan,
right?
Okay.
So, and I think that's it devastated us and a lot of fans of Oklahoma, and I think Nebraska too, when Nebraska left the Big 12
because of Texas.
But on the other end of it, a lot of us fans were like, well, why don't they keep that rivalry? Because Oklahoma and Texas haven't been in the same conference except for the Big 12, and they played that game every year. Everybody's like, do the same thing with Nebraska. We have to keep that rivalry going. And
it makes sense because you got Iowa and Iowa State. They're doing it now. So I don't get it. But, I agree that rivalry should continue.
Yeah, so it's just that, and even though Nebraska tried to get out of it this year because they know they're going to get it handed to them, they did. It came out. It was, no, they had some other thing. No, it came out was like, we don't want to play this game right now. We're not ready. You
can't blame them. They don't want to come back to the conference they were in and just get smoked.
Yeah, because that's what's going to happen.
Well, I'm telling you, they're gonna come play us hard. And we may still smoke them, but they're going to play us hard.
Hey, we could put Norman North High School out there and say, play them hard. Same result, Rob.
I don't know, Terry. I don't know.
I'm just telling you.
We may have to go for an over and under and make a bet or something.
But, no, and another game, we tell everybody this. If you get the opportunity to go to an OU Texas game, that's I don't know. That's basically like, St. Peter letting you walk into heaven for 4 hours to look around. It is. There's nothing like it ever. If you've gone to any football game, it's a loud, atmosphere when the home team has the ball.
Well, and most of the time you're going to somebody's home field.
That game for 3 hours, 4 hours is loud. Just constant cheering.
Well, after the second quarter, when we're beating
we're beating them,
12, then they kind of clear out,
leave, but
which is great.
Yeah, it's great when that happens. But when you're in a good game, it's great. It's crazy that I'm getting goosebumps right now just talking. So look at that, Rob. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking. It is so amazing, But there is no love. You walk out of that stadium, there's middle fingers flying at each other and cussing, and that too because it's around the Texas State Fair. And
just imagine the hype this year.
Oh yeah,
with everyone back in stands. A year away.
Yeah,
it's going to be even crazier.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine.
And Texas, being back again for the 12th year that they keep saying that we're back. Sarkeesian is supposed to be going to be working his magic, whatever that is.
That's what they said about Herman.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, I could not stand Herman.
Yeah, remember the last team he coached. As a head coach, he ended up drunk at 2 press conferences, and so he moves to Austin, Texas, to coach. That doesn't make much sense.
Well, hopefully he's back in AA.
So, but tell me, I know you guys, out there with the club are young, but talk about some of the stuff you guys do as far as for the university, for the the students there, the community. What does the Club of Baltimore do? What type of outreach do y'all have?
So right now, like I said, we're brand new. We're probably the youngest club out there right now, and because of COVID last year, we really weren't able to build up enough to set up a scholarship for anybody going out to OU. We're working towards that. That's our goal. But our motto right now, kind of what I say, is build the brand. We got to build the OU brand out here because we're so far away. It's amazing how many people I've run into, and I tell them, hey, we got a club here, and they're like, really? I'm glad you told me. I would have never known. And it's really cool, because now I'm making connections to other people, and it's great. It's not just Baltimore. That's the thing I want to get at. We welcome anybody and everybody who wants to come. You're more than welcome to come. We don't want to exclude anybody because it says Baltimore. We focus on Baltimore, of course, but Maryland, Southern Pennsylvania, center area there. Delaware doesn't have a club, so we want to reach out to Delaware as well too. Anyone who's local that doesn't have a club, we want to reach out and welcome them. If there's a club closer to them, we'll let them know, because it's not just about us; it's about building OU, across the country.
So, quick question: Delaware is so small. Can you just get out on your front porch and give it a yell and pretty much covered all of them, or is it? No, that's not going to work that way. Okay, not bad.
Say now again, you're talking to a couple of homegrown Okies who. Rob was raised in Mangum, Oklahoma, and I was raised in McAllister, Oklahoma. And just to give you a little bit of background about McAllister, that's where the Oklahoma State Penitentiary is at. Okay. So the one of only 4 Supermax prisons in the United States that is on 24-hour lockdown. So that's my hometown. So when we talk to people from other places, which we do a lot on the podcast, from people, we have some really dumb questions for you. So if they're dumb, we're sorry. We just want to know about everywhere.
And just a quick update on mine. There were 33 kids in my senior class.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's really cool about, what you guys are doing, talking, to Trevor and myself, just reaching out to across the country.
Oh, yeah.
And having your listeners learn more about, these different clubs. Like I said, they may even be in our area and didn't know.
Didn't know that there was somewhere
that show, so they can I'm definitely going to check that out. So I think that's great what you guys are doing. So, and I really appreciate it.
Hey, yeah, no problem. And like we told Trevor, is that, hey, if you guys, tell other clubs if they want to come on, we'll help, talk about it, because, we have a wide variety. We've had fans on from Florida, California, LA, well, that is California, Arizona, South Carolina. We even have some guys in Australia that we've had on the podcast that became basically they're Sooner fans because of us.
Right.
A friend of mine ran into them on a cruise ship, and they have a little podcast out there, and so they hooked us at a little sportscast, and so. But yeah, and that's what we want to do. And one of the things that we're proud of is that so many fans, on Twitter, a lot of people across the country like yourself, but they can only, they might only come to one game a year, because they got to travel so far, if that. But we have, our tailgate like a champion, a tailgate before the games right across the street from the stadium, and it's become the Twitter hub for everybody. Fans from all over the country, they know to come to the corner of Jenkins and Brooks find our our podcast, our tent there, because we have our pretty picture up, and they can literally sit there and meet the people that they see on Twitter, and
That's great.
And they wouldn't have had an opportunity to meet them. I mean, you can, any given game, you can see Blinken Riley there. I don't know if you follow Blinken Riley. Blinken comes.
Oh yeah, he's great. He's got a lot of great statistical
Oh
information.
yeah,
Love his stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, you don't want to piss him off either.
He's a big old boy.
He's a big boy.
But
he can play lineman.
yeah,
no doubt.
But no, I mean, I don't want to, leave anybody out. But I mean,
Sure.
you can find Demo, Derek Morton there. Now, of course, Derek Morton will usually be about, if it's, close to the game, he probably won't remember seeing you. But
what are you saying? He hits the bottle.
Oh
a little
yeah,
bit
he
there?
hits the bottle a little bit. He will at 11 o'clock games. He will come over to our. He has a tailgate. Him and some buddies have a tailgate, but he always comes over several times and hangs out with us. But yeah, one morning, I promise you, it was. And we've talked about the beer mosa that he makes, but he came over at like 7 o'clock and was just hammered. 7 o'clock in the morning. Okay, check out this beer mosa. I just made a beer mosa. So, and it was good, Demo. I'm not making fun of your beer mosa, but no. But I mean, that's what we want to do is people can come in and. We got Tim that comes. Tim and his family drive down. His granddaughters drive down from Nebraska for every home game, right. And they hang out there.
So we get to meet
great.
a lot of people. We get to have fun. The Aussies took us in, and we actually are okayed, or is that the right word? Okayed. We were given permission to say good day, mate.
Good day, mate. Yeah.
There's all kinds of good things going on. So we're glad to have you guys.
But and that's what we want to do. I mean, that's what, when we thought about starting this podcast, a lot of people who, listen to us from, I don't want to say the very beginning, we've grown it, but I mean, they know that what we do is we're the fans voice. Yeah, you can go listen to other podcasts, in which you should. They're all great. They're all got great, but they're going to talk about Oklahoma football. They're going to try to, they're analysts and they're journalists. Me and Rob are just
we are couch fans,
and it's a voice from when we tell fans that come on that you can tell a lot of them are nervous when we're getting ready to talk to them. We just say, hey, this is your show. You talk about whatever you want. We'll try to lead you if we need to, but. And most of the time that's what it is. We just sit around and, with folks just like you, and talk about, and there's some great fan stories out there that, the first time they, saw an Oklahoma game or first, or there's so many people that, then that's what's cool. I mean, with you, you're going to be able to build something with your family, your kids in 20 years.
Kind of a new Sooner fan.
Yeah, this is. This is how I became a fan. Me, it's the same way, and Rob too. We didn't have a choice, and I'm glad we didn't have a choice. We were Oklahoma fans. I mean, that was our household, and it was the same way with the Steelers. Back in the '70s, we were Steeler fans. Our household was Steelers. We're not from that area or anything else. My dad liked the Steelers, and so we had no choice but to like the Steelers. But you grow up on it, and it's cool that you're going to have that opportunity with with your kids and stuff as moving forward. Or do you have kids or?
Yeah, I have a young daughter.
Yeah, see, and now you can mold her into a fine Sooner fan.
Yeah. So I have a question for you guys.
Okay, shoot.
What are your opinions on their future opponents? Like the big boys that they're playing, and how they schedule them out to like 2036.
I don't know. I don't know why they do that. Really, Rob, do you? I mean, you dealt with some of the university stuff before.
I don't know. I would just be in speculation like anybody else would, but I think it's just smart to do that.
Yeah. I think the logistics is part of it. You can't go. Unlike high school football here in Oklahoma, you can go, hey, we can't play that game. We got to drop somebody. There's so much money involved in it, and so they want to tell everybody, here's when it is, the logistics in it. I think they got some great, games coming up, but I mean, we got Nebraska this year, next year.
Well, the question was, why are we going so far out, right?
Yeah,
not necessarily
and
who
you know,
we're
and
scheduling.
also your opinion on the opponents.
Ah,
Yeah. But again, I don't know. Like Rob, I don't know that it's other than logistics that they have to, you know, get it lined up so far in advance.
you know what? Somebody out there knows.
Yeah.
They know more than we do. As far as the opponents, I'm as a fan, because that's what I am. I'm happy that we're scheduling LSU and we're scheduling Nebraska, because nobody wants to see us beat up on Southeastern Podunk State,
Yeah.
right?
And it has really paid dividends for Oklahoma in the BCS era and in the playoff era, because you've got a quality win outside of your conference. If you're on the edge, you know, on the bubble looking in, you know, there's games that they go, okay, you know, they got a quality win, a non-conference win, you know, and you can't control. I mean, look at UCLA. UCLA a couple of years ago was terrible. I mean, we went to that game. Me and Rob, our families, we went out to California and went to that game. And there was 3 times as many Oklahoma fans at that game than there were UCLA fans. And it was half empty, the stadium was.
Well, it was like the Army game. The Army's not a big name, really, but we were definitely going to
West Point.
just
to watch
because
that.
the atmosphere, right?
But no,
Yeah,
COVID.
couldn't get that done. But I mean, I like it. I really do.
Yeah, and it's just the deal of Castiglione has done a great job with getting a mid-level opponent, a high-level opponent, and then, of course, every year we have the, you know, as my son Caleb calls it, the pay-per-view opponent. That, you know, I think
we still don't play Citadel though.
but you know, I think it's Eastern Carolina or something like that.
Western Carolina.
Western Carolina. I knew it was some direction of Carolina. But
I just thought there was North and South. So
yeah, I really did. We add another state?
I guess, yeah.
But you know, there's always that, and I think some of the fans are getting a little frustrated with that game. You know, going, hey, we need a little bit better opponent, another mid-level opponent. But, you know, Oklahoma has been known, you know, in the Bob Stoops and Lincoln era, known that, hey, we're going to take on somebody, a named opponent, a substantial opponent. And like you said, we schedule them so far out. You know, hell, everybody was excited. Oh, we're going to play Clemson, I think, in 2036. Clemson may be horrible in 2036.
Yeah, that's my thought about it, too. But my view on it is I like it in the way that it's not neutral site games. You know, it's a home and home. I do not like neutral site games. I feel like college football games should be played in college football stadiums.
Yeah, until you go to the OU Texas game. That is
for exception of that. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, that one is just, and you know, it's that tradition. I don't know how long have they been doing it.
I don't know, but that one has to be experienced.
Oh yeah, you have to experience it. But I'm with you. I mean, but the ones that are neutral site, well, like the Chick-fil-A Kickoff Classic. Yeah, I hate those games. You know, at the beginning of the year. Yeah, those just don't make any sense to me.
Yeah, unless like for me, I'm definitely looking forward to when they play at Temple in 2025, because that'll be in Philadelphia, in the Eagles, stadium, the Lincoln Financial. So they're not playing in Temple's, stadium. They're getting the NFL stadium, which is going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
So
mark our calendars,
that is
Rob.
the only exception, to be able to do that. So that's definitely one game I'm going to try to go to.
Yeah. Now we try to every year. We've decided to start making a pilgrimage to an away game. This year, there's really not one that we have really talked about going to.
Texas, then.
Texas, yeah, OU Texas. But I mean, here in a couple of years, we're going to go to Tennessee. Do we play Tennessee next year?
At Nebraska next year.
Oh yeah, at Nebraska. Yeah, that's where we're going.
Hey, I'm wearing the corn cob things. You seen the show Yes Man?
No.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm wearing the corn cob things. I promise you. I know I'm a Sooner fan. I'm still doing it.
The corn cob. I don't know what that.
You've not seen the movie Yes Man?
Yes, man. I don't guess so.
Oh well, you got to watch Yes Man. It's a Jim Carrey flick. So anyway, he winds up going to Nebraska just on a whim. and his buddies are watching the Nebraska-Oklahoma game, which, by the way, they say, "Oh, my money's on Oklahoma."
No.
So, but he's in the stands and he's all painted up and he's got these big corn cobs
on his
on his
forearms.
forearm. It's kind of dorky, obviously, but this me we're talking about here. So I am wearing the corn cobs.
Okay.
I promise you, I will do that.
Are you going to wear a corn cob on top of your head?
Whatever
too?
I got to do.
Yeah, whatever you got to do. Yeah, but we're going to make that game next year. That's for sure.
That's great.
Yeah, this year people were talking about going down to, to the Tulane game down to there's some folks going down there. It's pretty close, but if you've ever been to Louisiana in August and September, I'm pretty sure they've opened up the gates of hell or the mouth of hell to let the heat come out to ventilate because it is hot in that time.
And stinky.
And stinky, yeah. So I'm like, I don't want to go to New Orleans. So
yeah, we do have one of our members. He schedules trips, and he's working on it. He actually got one set up for Tulane, so a few of our members are going to go down to that game in Tulane to watch that game in New Orleans, and the other one was they're actually headed out to OU for Nebraska, which is going to be cool. So we'll still have our watch parties, and we'll still have people there in the stadium, which is going to be fantastic.
Okay, well, I mean, he is a new Sooner, so we're still going to play Sooner, not a Sooner.
Yeah, but you got to take it easy on him.
Yeah, we got to take it. Hey, why should I take? He may be like a genius in sports trivia, Rob.
Okay.
Hey, Trevor. She told me to study up. So
study. So he studied. Okay.
Right.
Hey, she said it on the podcast.
So, just so you know, I mean, there's thousands of Sooner football players, but the Sooner not. These are all first, second, or third round draft picks. So that narrowed it down to 418 Sooners that have been drafted in the first 3 rounds. But I'll try to keep it a little bit current. How about?
Well, he did his homework.
Okay, he did his homework. Okay. All right. Well, let's start off with Sooner, not a Sooner.
I'll give my best.
Jimmy McElroy, Sooner or not a Sooner?
Jimmy McElroy. Jimmy McElroy. I'm going to say not a Sooner.
Correct, not a Sooner. Do you know, and for extra credit, do you know who Jimmy McElroy is?
I do know for sure he's not a Sooner, but other than that, I don't.
Rob, do you know who?
He was in the movie Benchwarmers. No,
Nope.
not Benchwarmers. The Replacements.
Nope.
No, shit.
No.
I don't know.
Blades of Glory.
Jeez.
John,
I wouldn't have watched that if you paid me.
You didn't watch Blades of Glory?
No, I didn't watch Blades of Glory.
Wow.
Played by the guy John Heder, who played Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, that's probably why.
Nice.
I didn't watch that movie.
I remember
either.
the movie now.
Yeah. But, memorable quote from him from the movie is, "Zip it, Chaz. Just zip it, or I'll punch you in your crap lousy face."
Alrighty. Hey, he's 1 for 1.
He's one.
That was a good one.
Let's see here. Donald Stevenson, Sooner or not a Sooner?
Donald Stevenson. I believe he is a Sooner, and I think he was drafted by the Chiefs.
Wow. Dang, man. He did do his homework.
Little known fact, it's Ramondre's older brother.
Is it really?
No.
Okay. He was a 3rd round pick to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Wow.
Okay, I didn't remember the pick. I believe I remember it with the Chiefs, but I couldn't remember the pick.
Impressed.
Yeah, really. Golly. Let's see here. Manuel Johnson, Sooner or not a Sooner?
Did you say Emmanuel? Or say it again?
Manuel Johnson.
Well, it depends on what part of the
okay.
country you're in. Okay, so.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you said Emmanuel or Manuel. Okay, Manuel Johnson, is that what you said?
Yes, sir.
Boy, see if I can. I will. Ooh. I can't think of any movie star characters, so I'm gonna say, is it Sooner?
Correct.
Wide receiver, 94.
No, 2009. Who drafted him, Rob?
Miami Dolphins.
No, it's the Miami Dolphins. Dallas Cowboys.
Oh,
All right.
Okay.
Frank Dux. D-U-X. Sooner or not?
You said D-U-X?
Correct.
Frank Dux. Oh man, that sounds like a movie character name to me. I'm gonna say not a Sooner.
You are correct. Extra credit. Who is Frank Dux and who played him? What movie is he from? If you get this, I'll be. Rob, do you know?
no, I don't have a clue.
Bloodsport.
Oh,
Jean
Dukes.
Dukes? Is it Dukes?
It's Dukes.
Oh.
Yeah, that I would have gotten.
Oh.
Not Ducks, Dukes.
Dukes,
Frank
okay.
Dukes.
Yeah, see, I'd have got it if you'd have pronounced it correctly.
Yeah, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh, yeah, he was French or something. Come on, Terry.
So it's Ducks, huh?
Dukes.
Frank
Dukes.
Dukes.
Dukes. Okay.
I put up your Dukes.
Oh, see, I did not know that. Well, of course, I don't think I'd ever seen a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. Obviously, I don't know why. Let's see. Charles Billingsley. Sooner or not a Sooner?
Charles Billingsley.
I know I pronounced this one right.
Don't bet it.
I will. Billingsley. That doesn't sound like a Sooner to me, Billingsley. I'm going to say not a Sooner.
You are correct, man. He's rolling for somebody who. Well, he did say he did his homework. Extra credit. Do you know anything about Charles Billingsley?
Billingsley. I do not.
Rob?
He played on Bewitched.
What?
No.
Charles Billingsley. Friday Night Lights, the movie, played by Tim McGraw.
The
Dad who was
all right.
the dad who was the state, champion football player, and his son couldn't live up to his
Expectations.
expectations.
Okay.
That's it. Thanks,
Okay.
Rob.
No problem.
Yeah, great movie.
Did we mention that there's big cash and prizes for the winner of this thing without the big cash and prizes?
Or any prizes whatsoever.
Right.
Stocker McDougal. Sooner or not a Sooner?
Stogger or Stocker?
Stocker.
Stogger.
Not to be confused with
Stocker.
Stocker Channing, which was in
Stocker.
Greece.
Stocker. S-T-O-C-K.
Man, that sounds crazy like Billingsley. But I can't say two characters in a row, so I will guess Sooner on this one.
Yeah, he is a
Good
Sooner.
guess. Very good guess.
I just could. Just Billingsley and then McDougal. Just one of them had to be a fake character.
Stocker McDougal is like one of the coolest names ever.
Right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
he doubled as a tree.
Yeah.
So just for reference sake. Yeah.
Yeah, but he was a first-round pick to the Detroit Lions. He was an offensive tackle.
Okay.
I gotta say that just because Johnny Utah, Sooner not a Sooner.
Johnny Utah.
Yeah.
Johnny Utah. Man, that sounds a lot like Johnny Unitas. Johnny Utah. Johnny Utah.
He's not hitting the old Google machine. On
No,
his
I don't hear
Oh,
keyboards.
no, I'm not.
Okay,
doing
all right.
that. Johnny. That sounds like that also sounds like a cool name too, but I'm gonna say not a Sooner.
Correct. I'm very disappointed that you didn't get this one like immediately.
He's young.
I don't care. I mean, have you seen the movie Point Break? The original with
Keanu
No, I
Reeves.
have not. I apologize. I have not, but I will now.
Yeah,
Mention it.
Johnny Utah was Keanu Reeves' character, and he played quarterback for in the movie he was an Ohio State quarterback who blew out his knee.
A buck nut.
A buck. And so
what was his counter in that one? The crazy dude Gary
Busey.
Busey, that's
Gary
it.
Busey is from Oklahoma.
No,
So-
but he's crazy as a run over dog.
Yeah, he is slowly but surely became more and more and more
Eccentric.
Yeah.
Plays his characters great, I'll say.
Yeah. Joe Gould, Sooner, not a Sooner.
Joe Gould?
Gould. I'm guessing I'm pronouncing it right. Gould.
There's a town out by where I grew up called Gould.
Okay, thanks.
Probably not named after this guy though.
G-O. Okay, so seems like the past few have been Sooner, not a Sooner, Sooner, not a Sooner.
So he's trying to figure out a
trend.
pattern.
His rhythm.
Guess not a Sooner.
You are correct. Not a Sooner. Man, look at him. He didn't. It's like, okay, if he does this many, he does that many. Were you a math major? Is that what?
He's playing you like a fiddle, Terry.
I don't know. I guess some of the names to me, I guess I should know from the movies, but it just sound like they're movie character names.
No, okay.
But
do you know who Joe Gould is or was? What movie? Either one of you.
I'll probably know if you say the movie. I can't think off the top of my head.
Rob?
Not a clue.
Cinderella Man. Great
Okay.
boxing movie.
Yes.
Paul Giamatti. I love that movie. It was on just the other day, and I watched it again. Let's see here. Caesar Rente. Sooner or not a Sooner? Caesar Rente. See if I can break its pattern thingy out.
You might want to spell that because I don't think you're pronouncing that last name correctly.
Rentie.
Sounds like a boxer to me. Like a professional boxer. I did two not a Sooners in a row, so let me go Sooner on this one.
Golly. Now we're gonna play this game till he loses now. Caesar Rente is a Sooner. Do you know where Caesar Rente is from? By chance.
Where he's from,
Yeah.
hometown? I do not.
Hartshorn, Oklahoma, which is why I know I was pronouncing his name right, Rob. Because
I think he pronounces it Rentai, but
Rentire. Oh, really?
I'm just saying.
But which is about 10 miles from my hometown, the Hartshorn Miners. And it is well known that his little brother, and he was in the 80s, he was recruited in the 80s. Some college called his house, and they wanted to talk to Caesar, and he said, "Who is it?" And I think it was like USC, and he's like, "Man, my brother ain't coming out there," and hung up on him. If his little brother would answer the phone, he would hang up on people.
Wow.
My question is, what did they mine out there in Hartshorn?
Coal.
Coal.
Yes, it was a mining town for years. See, Rob.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah, true.
I
Okay,
don't remember it the next day though.
one more.
All right, see if I can get the
Let's
streak
see
going.
if you can get.
God, if I mess up the last one, I'm getting all these. But I got a 50-50 chance, though.
Yeah, you got a 50-50 chance. Jackie Moon, Sooner, not a Sooner.
Jackie Moon is definitely not a Sooner.
Okay, who is Jackie Moon?
I do remember Jackie Moon. That was Will Ferrell's character in Semi-Pro.
There you go, Semi-Pro. Have you seen that movie, Rob?
No.
I love this whole thing I've got here. I put it on a spreadsheet and stuff. It says, and it has memorable quotes. The memorable quote they have for him for this movie is, "No refunds. Consider your refund escaping this death trap with your lives."
Yeah. That was great. That was a great scene.
Yeah, because he was the owner and president of the team too, wasn't he?
Yeah,
And-
I think that was doing bear wrestling.
Yeah, no refunds.
Show or something.
But that was Sooner, not a Sooner. You did well. You studied well.
Did well.
So
Well, thank you.
we would, like you said, like Rob said, give you cash and prizes, but we have no cash. And
it's all good.
We don't
Just
have
fun
anything.
being able to chat senior sports, so that's all I'm happy for.
But we would send you an autograph, but it's literally worth about a roll of toilet paper. So, but again, tell everybody how to get in touch with you out there. Any fans that want to become part of the, join you guys for games, become part of the OU Club of Baltimore.
Sure. So we're on social media. Our primary one is our Facebook page, OU Club of Baltimore. It's a private page, but if you want to join, all are welcomed. You can also look at us on Instagram. We have it there on Instagram. We have also a Twitter page as well too, all OU Club of Baltimore. But I'd say most of our information, up-to-date information, is probably going to be on our Facebook page as far as for watch parties.
Okay, good. And hey, okay, I said I was going to stop here in just a second, but I want I forgot about this thing, and you put it up on because I've got your Facebook page pulled up here, and I just scrolled down. I was like, oh, I forgot to bring about this. There is a thing going around, Rob, on social media is pick one of each, and Brandon reposted it to the OU Club of Baltimore's page, which is head coach. Your choices are Lincoln Riley, Barry Switzer, Bud Wilkinson, or Bob Stoops. Offensive coordinator, Mangino, Chuck Long. What's the crazy coach name? What's his name's mentor? He was here in 2000.
Venables?
No, offensive coordinator. You ain't paying attention, are you?
I guess not.
Leach.
Mike Leach.
Leach.
You should have just said the Pirate.
The Pirate. And I think Donnie Duncan is the one on the end. That's your offensive coordinator choice. Defensive coordinators is Brent Venables, Mike, and Grinch. And I'm not sure who this other guy is. So if you had your choice of those four head coaches, Rob, Lincoln, Barry, Bud, or Bob, who would you pick as your head coach?
I'm going Barry.
Okay. Brandon, who would you pick?
I would say head coach. Man, that's a hard one. I would probably go Barry as well.
It's hard for me to make this choice because Barry, I think, is the most charismatic, but Bud won 47 straight games.
Well, that's true.
So I'm going to take Bud.
A case can be made for all of them.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't go wrong picking any of the four.
No,
so
sir.
Now, I think, and I think they should have given, because really Lincoln is the head coach and offensive coordinator, so he should have been a pick for offensive coordinator, but as well. But I think if you would put Lincoln, with Barry or Bud, good Lord, as the offensive coordinator, could you imagine what Barry and Lincoln would do with an offense if they sat down and said,
for starters, they wouldn't have got along.
Yeah.
Okay, because we're running the swinging gate.
Yeah.
I mean, we're running the wishbone, and Lincoln ain't gonna have that.
Yeah.
I can just tell you.
Yeah, but
I took Barry because things like Oklahoma invented winning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, Barry is undoubtedly the greatest motivator in maybe college football history. I mean,
and probably one of the greatest recruiters ever.
Oh yeah, yeah. But again, to me, I think we could probably say, well, it was a different game. It was a more simplistic game. The fact that anybody can put together 47 straight games in any sport, whether it's Little League, T-ball, or NCAA college football, that's just amazing. Mangino, Leach, Chuck Long, Donnie Duncan. Who would you pick for your offensive coordinator?
I'm going Leach.
Yeah, I like Leach too. What about you, Brandon?
I would go with Leach. And I would even say solely on that trick he did to Texas with the playbook.
Oh yeah, that was it.
You gotta love that. Don't
That's
you?
just brilliant offensive mind right
Yeah,
there.
and you know, I love I was watching the special on that, and they were talking to the coach. It took them like a full quarter to figure out this ain't their play.
Of course, they still won.
Yeah.
They still beat us. But
But okay, defensive coordinator Venables, Mike, Grinch, and I don't know who this other guy is.
I'm going Venables.
I'm going Venables. Brandon?
Yeah, I really want to see more from Grinch this year.
Yeah.
Might change my mind, but as of right now, yeah, Venables.
Yeah, because look at what he's got the best defense, and leave him alone and go here, do your thing.
Right. Plus, he's got a guy that just holds on to him so don't go down.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Right?
Yeah. And I saw a deal, I think it was last year, they put they call them in healthcare, because I work in healthcare, gates. Okay, they're actually grab handles on and a gate belt.
It's like a toddler deal.
Yeah, a gate belt is for PT or an older person that you're trying to get their strength back up, and it's a belt that has loops on the back. So a healthcare worker there was a game, and I saw it, that they had like a gate belt on him where the guy could grab instead of grabbing his shirt or grabbing him around the waist, they could grab the strings or the rope to pull him back in.
That makes sense. Didn't he almost turn around and punch that guy one time?
Yeah, and that was on
And
like
the guy
national.
was like 6'5" or
Yeah,
something.
the guy,
It's like,
and I think they put a guy that big behind him, because Venables, he was the D1 linebacker. He ain't very big, but he's very nuts.
Right.
I mean, the picture they have in here of him, Rob, is one of those ones where the veins, it looks like
he's about to explode.
like he's about to turn into the Incredible Hulk, But yeah, we've talked to a few players that we've had on here, and if you listen to the guys that played for him, they're like, yeah, he's, he drank. What was it? They said that he drank. It was Red Bull, Spark. It was Rufus Alexander was on, and if obviously you know what Red Bull is. Have you ever heard of Spark? Brandon, have you ever heard of a drink called Spark?
No, I have not.
It's a one of those sports drinks. Wrestlers take it. It's
Okay.
it's similar. It's a mixture. It's similar to Red Bull, but I think Rufus said it was coffee, Red Bull, and Spark mixed together. That's what the guy drank in the morning. So basically, his heart every morning when he woke up, within 10 minutes, was ready to explode.
132 beats a minute.
Yeah, just
had to step out the door.
And I never met Venables, but I saw him a couple of times, and I saw him. The places I always saw him was at Home Depot, and
Getting a shovel to bury somebody in the yard.
I think so, because he is the most intense walker I've ever seen in my life, and I mean, he was walking with a purpose. I think I saw him twice. And I was like, ooh, that's Venables. I was going to go up and say, I was going to go, hey. And he was just walking, arms cocked out like Popeye. And I was like, I got like 10 steps towards him. I was like, yeah, I'm not asking that guy anything. Because he literally looked like, if you say something to me, I'm liable to just swing around and punch you and go, oh, sorry. So anyway. Hey, look, that guy's doing push-ups like me, Rob. We got the TV on, and it's like, what is it, 60 Minutes, and there's like a 99-year-old man who's doing push-ups, and
That was
it
impressive.
looked like me. But anyway, hey, Brandon, we appreciate you coming on. Again, best of luck. If we can help you out in any way, if you ever do any merchandise, shoot us a deal. We'll put it out there on Twitter to our followers and stuff. And if you know.
We do have if you go to our Facebook page right there, I have pinned to the front of. We have a membership. It's $30 a year, or if you want a shirt, I think it's like $25 or $35. It's an Under Armour OU Club of Baltimore shirt.
Okay, yeah, I did see one.
There's a link there. You click on the link. It sends you to the foundation page, OU Foundation page. You make contribute to our club there. We get the information of who you are, where you are, contact you, and we send a shirt out in the mail as soon as we can.
Okay, yeah, go. Fans, go there, buy a shirt. I think me and Rob are going to start a deal where, we're going to try to get a shirt or a hat from every one of these clubs that'll, let us. But Go to that. Go to their Facebook page, guys.
I'm looking at it right now. It's a nice looking shirt.
Yeah, it's a nice looking shirt. But go to their Facebook page. That's the best way. Hey, you're helping them out. You're giving money to the OU club, and you're getting a little something in return. So do that. I would read the web page out, but it's like long. So, but go to their, find OU Club of Baltimore on Facebook, and it has their website and where you can get the shirts at. So, but Brandon, hey, best of luck to you. Hopefully,
gentlemen, I really appreciate you having me on.
You bet.
Anytime you want, if you want to talk, again, or if you guys ever, are out this way, hit us up. We'd love to have you guys here for a watch party if you guys are out this way during a game.
All right, I may do that. I mean, I've been waiting on my wife to buy me tickets to a Steelers game, and she's never done that yet. So, but anyway, that's the podcast, guys. We appreciate everybody listening to you. Brandon, again, we appreciate it. Rob, that's it. Boomer Rob.
Boomer Sooner, Terry. Sooner.
Boomer Brandon.
Sooner, Terry.